So, Jenna, what brings you in today?
Well, I feel like I'm struggling with some of my heart issues that I've been dealing with for a while.
Okay, why don't you tell me a little bit more? Why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
Um, Ever since I was 12, I've been having like issues, like palpitations and everything. So we started going to the doctors, and they said I'm just like gonna grow out of it and whatnot. But it's like really aggravating because like each doctor I go see, they keep on telling me that I'm gonna grow out of it. So I just knew in my heart like something was wrong. Um, so like we kept on going to the doctors. When I was 13, I passed out on the court playing tennis.
Okay.
They thought I had a seizure, but everything was like right in my head. You know, nothing was wrong. So like after that, it like got worse. You know, and increased the pain. I'm starting to have like chest pain and stuff like that. And it's just really aggravating because people aren't listening to me still.
What do you mean by that? How are they not listening to you?
Well, they keep on saying that I'm gonna grow out of it, and like every doctor told me that.
So it must be frustrating because
Yeah.
they're wrong and it
Yeah.
keeps coming back.
Well, I soon figured out that they were wrong. So like a couple summers ago, I was playing tennis again, and I broke my arm because I fainted on the court again. But when I'm doing like exercise, I'm fine. It's just like the aftermath of it. So it's hard because tennis is my favorite sport, and I get to go to college for it. But like I can't keep up with all the other people. Like when we do runs, like around the laps and everything, it's just really hard, and I feel really embarrassed.
You feel embarrassed? So if I'm catching this all correctly, you have had this heart condition and it's a bit frustrating because the doctors have all said that you'll grow out of it, but yet it's still here with you, correct?
And I've been on multiple medications, starting probably when I was 14, and they like make me really moody. They make me lose weight, and I didn't have to lose weight at all during high school or middle school because I was like a toothpick. So I feel like they just kept on feeding me medicine to make me happier. Kind of like a, what is it called, like a pseudo thing?
Like an upper, you know?
Like they, I don't know, they make me think it's working.
Placebo?
Yeah,
the placebo effect?
placebo.
Yeah.
So it was getting worse and worse and worse. And like, I guess going to college made me realize that I need to like go somewhere out of state to fix something. So I went to go visit my sister just over Christmas break, and my sitting heart rate was 170.
Oh wow.
When we were just eating dinner, I have like no stress, and it was like Christmas break. So my sister felt really uncomfortable, and she took me to the Mayo Hospital because she lives right down the road. So they were kind of concerned because also, I didn't mention this, but like my dad's heart failure has a lot of effect on me right now.
What do you mean by that? Has a lot of effect on you?
Because it kind of scares me that I'm going to be the same way. My grandpa passed away at the age of 52. My dad's 52 right now, and they just figured out like he's in heart failure. And then so like keeps on. It's like all guys that have heart failure on my dad's side. But like my dad has pacemaker and defibrillator right now, but he's like still in heart failure.
So that must be pretty tough to have your own heart problems, and on top of that, to have a parent who's going through a pretty similar thing. That's a lot on your shoulders, isn't it?
I feel like it's like my mom's the glue to the family, so I feel like it's really stressing my mom out too because she has like my dad to handle and then also me at the Mayo Hospital. So anyways, when I went to the Mayo Hospital, they made me stay overnight. That way I could see a cardiologist.
Mm-hmm.
She said a lot of girls go through that, and that's like the other thing. Like they keep on telling me I'm a girl, nothing's gonna be wrong. So I was.
Is that frustrating to hear that
Yeah.
it's gonna be fine just because you're a girl?
I guess it was frustrating because they say like how good the Mayo Hospital is, and then I just had a cardiologist come in during the like ER visit telling me the same thing, like even when I'm out of state, you know. So it was really aggravating. But I still set up an appointment with his name is Dr. Mueller.
Okay.
Anyways, his he runs the whole Mayo Hospital, so
Okay.
he is like a really good doctor. So I met with him, but before I had my appointment, I did a heart monitor for 48 hours, and then I made sure I did a lot of walks and everything, so my heart could like show at least something. And then they did an ultrasound of the heart, and the doctor actually had come in and asked me a couple questions, because he seemed really concerned, and my sister was only with me, so my parents weren't with me at the time. They were back at home.
Okay. Was that hard going through all this without your parents there?
Yes and no. Like my mom is always there to tell them, like she's very detail oriented with like my past and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But my sister did a really good job, and I was very lucky to have her there.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it. Good for you. I'm glad that your sister was there for you. I mean, sounds like she was real supportive for you.
Yeah, she was. And so I had my appointment, and so the physician and Dr. Neumeier sat me down and said I have a hole in my heart.
Oh wow.
They thought it was little, but they didn't know what it was until later on. So I'll tell you more about that. So they were telling me I do have a weak heart for a girl like me, and that's what my dad has. He has, he's in heart failure. But I also have a hole in my heart, which is like another thing on top of it. So it's like scary. It's scaring me.
So that would scare anybody.
Yeah. But it's so nice because I finally have I have clarity, I guess you could say.
In what way? Why do you say that?
Finally someone figured out what's wrong with me.
That must be a relief.
Yeah. So even though I had to go to the Mayo Hospital, I mean it wasn't that big of a deal because my sister lives there already. But yeah, so they put a loop. I have a monitor in my chest right now. It's they stuck it in my chest. That calculates how my heart is, like my rhythm and everything. So I feel a lot more comfortable knowing that I'm underneath Mayo's care still.
Even though you're a state away.
Yeah. So one night, my heart rate, I felt like it was getting up to 180, and it was, and I was in tachycardia. So that's a really bad rhythm for a heart. So I monitored it and I sent it off to the Mayo Hospital, and they said they needed to see me right away and I have to go in surgery.
Wow.
So
what was that like?
It was kind of heartbreaking because first week of school was gonna start in a couple days.
Oh.
And the only way they could actually get me in right away, but it was during the first week of school. So I was trying to decide. I got really stressed because I was trying to decide if I was gonna go to school this year, this semester. Should I take a break and whatnot? Because I'm also playing tennis, and this is when the season is beginning. And
that's crazy. That's a problem that not a lot of people your age have to go through.
Yeah, I mean there are people who have worse things, but I guess having these problems since I was 12 is really frustrating because we could have figured this out sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. And so I did leave the first week of school, and all my professors were really good about it. And but so I went to surgery. My whole family came.
Oh.
My parents and my brother. My sister made sure she took time off work. She's the one that lives in Minnesota. Also, her fiance is a paramedic for the Mayo Hospital right now.
Wow.
So he took time off too, and my aunt and everything who lives there. So
you have a really good support system. It sounds like that's really cool. A lot of people who have health problems don't have that. They just have themselves.
The one thing I forgot to leave out, like I had a tilt table, and then my heart stopped. So that was like a sign. That was like the beginning step of like a long, trail of like trying to figure things out. But yeah, so my heart stopped for 30 seconds on one of the tests, and I was originally gonna have a pacemaker, but that's a long story. So anyways, I'm going into surgery, and they were doing like all the procedures before, and I had to get there like 5 o'clock in the morning. And the day we got there like at 1 o'clock in the morning, so we drove. So like I'm just sitting there and like everyone's poking me with needles.
That must have been a stressful car ride.
Yeah.
Driving to your heart surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was okay because my parents were like talking me through it.
Again, the support system. It sounds like that's really been helpful for you.
And my dad went through what I was going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, I mean, if he could do it, I can do it. But he's a lot older than me too, so I guess like the experience was kind of cool in a way because I don't know, not a lot of people get to go through that, and it kind of makes me stronger as an individual.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that it seems like all this has kind of built up and made you a stronger individual. I would say brave. You sound very brave. It sounds like you handled this very bravely, very admirably, with courage. And so, I mean, a lot of people get scared when they face medical trials and issues, and it sounds like you kind of faced it head on.
It was just, it was really hard, and it was really heartbreaking. My dad never cries, but he went through a lot of stuff, so I think he gets a little bit more emotional now because of what happened to him. But when I was on the bed, when they were rolling me away, my dad started bawling his eyes out because it is like not a risky procedure, but it is very invasive. So he went through surgery.
I mean, that's got to be so hard for a parent to go through, seeing their child go through a major surgery like that.
Yeah. I would assume so. That would break my heart, especially my mom. Like seeing my dad. We almost lost my dad. I caught him falling down.
Wow.
Yeah. His heart rate races just like mine, so like we kind of connect in a way. But yeah, so that was really hard, and it was really weird getting like transferred over to the surgery table, and they literally stuck a lot of pads on me and everything. So like they stuck the pads where they do the defibrillators and everything. So the surgery was only supposed to take about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I was in there for almost 6.
Wow.
Yes.
It had to be.
So I had the EP study done. That's like they were only supposed to do 1 catheter, but they did 2, so 1 on each side. And then they figured out that the hole in my heart was actually right in the middle of my septum, so in the middle of my heart, and it was big.
Wow.
So yeah. Then they figured out my ejection fraction. That's the amount of blood flowing through your body. Is very weak. That's what my dad has. So I was just like, I had a TEE done. That's another scope going down my throat. And just tons of procedures done.
Yeah.
And a lot of the procedures was like the only thing like Mayo has, so that was really cool that I could get that done.
You have the best care, it sounds like.
Yeah, I do. So yeah, I came out, and it was kind of weird hearing them say like, like the hole was actually larger. Blah blah blah. And I met with a surgeon, and he said if I were to get the hole fixed, I'd have to have open heart surgery.
Wow.
Because on my wall of the heart, I have like minute tears, like little holes. And they would want to repair that because if they didn't and they just fixed the big hole, I'd probably throw a stroke. But which is also nerve-wracking because my dad asked the surgeon, like, what's going to happen when I want to start a family? So he said it's going to be hard because I may, like, throw a stroke, and there's, like, a big chance that I will. But it's pretty risky.
During Childbirth? Or
Yeah. So
how's that make you feel?
pretty scared.
Is that like is that a dream of yours to have children?
Yeah, most definitely. I would definitely want to have kids when I get older. But like there's different procedures to have a child, but I just always imagine myself to, have a kid on my own.
Yeah. I think that's every girl's dream.
Yeah. So, a lot of it's been really stressful.
What's the way that you deal with that stress?
I listen to music a lot.
Okay, that can be very soothing, very comforting.
I like to take long showers and talk
Okay.
to myself, but like to God.
Really?
Yeah, I do that a lot. And I don't like I share a room, so I don't talk out loud because usually I do before I go to bed. And I find that very peaceful. I love talking to my mom and my dad. I love it, and I also love talking to my sister. So talking to people and like being with people makes me a lot more relaxed. But it was really hard because it took like 2 months to go back to tennis. I tried, and it was really hard because I had to build up my endurance. But I had to wait about 2 weeks for the catheters, the surgery holes to heal, and then also my arms because they poked me with a lot of stuff and with medicine, so that was pretty hard. Also my grades, it was really hard to get it back up, so I really
must have been.
Yeah, really dedicated my time, but it was. I feel like it was a lot more easier to miss the first week of school instead of like the middle or the end.
Were your professors, were they good with you? Where do you go to school?
Concordia University in Ann Arbor.
Oh, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, they're awesome. And they're very understanding, and I couldn't ask for anything better than that. So I did go back to school. I thought I was going to be able to.
That would have been a big setback.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you didn't let your heart condition set you back. So that's good for you. That's really brave.
Yeah. So for tennis, coach let me obviously he let me come back, but I really worked up my endurance, and I got to play doubles with my partner, but he put me at singles. I wasn't supposed to, but the first match I ever played, I won it. So
really,
that's why.
Wow.
That's why I made a big deal out of it because it was my first match that I played. It was singles. I wasn't supposed to play singles.
That's an accomplishment. Good job.
And like my whole family was there. My Uncle Gary, my grandma, my Aunt Diana, my mom. And my
the
aunt,
support system again.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
They're there for you. I love that.
I don't think I would be very stable with my life if I didn't have my family.
Oh, for sure. I don't think anyone would. I mean, you see people who have, health issues and they have no family, and who do they have to turn to? So it sounds like you really have a good support system.
Yeah, and like, not just me, we realized my brother was kind of saying goofy stuff. Like a kid his age shouldn't say.
How old is he?
He's 13.
Okay. What kind of stuff was he saying?
He didn't belong. He said he wanted to kill himself.
What goes through your mind as a big sister when you hear that?
He's literally my best friend, my brother. And I helped him with everything, and it's really, really cool because he would always want me to come to talk to him.
Yeah.
He loves my parents and everything, but he always felt comfortable. I could always get stuff out of him.
You guys have a connection?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like it's like a whole big thing because that breaks my parents' heart, but especially my dad because his I don't want to describe all this, but my uncle, he killed himself when he was 18. So my dad was my brother's age, 13, when he passed away.
Wow.
So when my brother said those things, we like made immediate what's the word I'm looking for?
Action.
action.
That's good. That's what you're supposed to do. Good job.
So we took him to a counselor, and he just like him being more happy and everything created a lot more happiness in our family because we have been really stressed. My parents weren't on a really good note. I was really afraid that they were gonna get a divorce because they were fighting so much, usually more than they ever have. So it was just really hard. But
marriage is really hard, but I'm glad to hear that they're doing better.
So we're like the best we've ever been. I'm okay. I have learned to live with it. But I'm just. They said they'll probably just have to fix the hole when I'm like in my 20s.
Okay.
25, 30, when I want to start having a family. But yeah. So I'm just gonna wait, and I'm gonna live my life. But it's really been stressful.
It must be, and it sounds like you have some good stress relievers. You know, with music and prayer and tennis. Sounds like you enjoy tennis,
Yes,
right?
I do.
Okay, so well, from what I'm hearing, it kind of sounds like that. You mentioned your faith and your talks with God, which I think that God's keeping you on this earth for a reason, and He's putting you through some trials and tribulations, to make you a stronger person. And I'm sure that He's got an awesome purpose for you.
Yeah, like another thing, I'll just talk about it really quick. When my heart stopped on the tilt table for 30 seconds, I don't think I ever described it to you, but the first thing I said when I woke up again, all I saw was my dad bawling his eyes out at the end of the table. I didn't know what was happening, and the doctor was looking at me in the eyes, and he's like, "Everything's gonna be okay." I was like, "Okay," and my instant reaction was to cry, and I didn't know what was going on. And I asked my dad. I was like, "Did I faint?" Because I literally felt like I just went to sleep, and I had a really weird dream.
How long? You said you're out for 30 seconds.
30 some seconds, yeah. So, I couldn't get up. I was still laying down. I couldn't sit up for 2 hours because every time I sat up, I was gonna faint again because my body just wasn't ready for it. So weird, it was really weird having your body completely shut down.
Can't imagine.
Yeah. So my dad, when I was just laying there, and he said, he's like, "Well, the dream that you told me about, that was the first thing I said." He said, "Can you tell me a little bit more about it?" And I did, because it kind of hit me. I was like, "Oh my god, that wasn't. I don't think that was really a dream." And all I remember, the room I was in was really dark. So my dream, I was a white light, and I remember a guy in white, and he was standing next to me to my left, and I remember someone grabbing my hand, but I remember a pathway.
Really? What's the pathway look like?
It was just white.
Okay.
Everything was like a glare though, but the only thing I remember is the pathway, the guy standing next to me. I don't think it was God, because I don't think I'd be here if it was God. I think it was maybe my guardian angel or something.
Okay.
I think it was, it could be anyone, but
someone who's looking out for you.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
When I saw a picture of my Uncle Terry who killed himself, I've always seen pictures, but it was really weird seeing one picture that my dad, I don't know how it was brought up, but when I saw that picture, it brought back memories. He did have long hair, and that's the guy in my dream. He had long hair, really tall and lean, exactly how he was, and it could be him. But so. So yeah, yeah. So he grabbed my hand and he said, "Everything's gonna be okay, Jenna." And then when I felt the touch of my hand, that's when I felt that, the outside, speaking to me. The doctors were screaming my name, and that's when I woke up.
That's amazing.
So when he said my name, that's when I heard them saying my name. So,
wow,
yeah.
that must it's been surreal.
Yeah, it's really cool because
Would you say this whole thing brought you closer to God?
yes,
Yes.
I feel like my vocation on here is to serve Him in any way possible and try to be as happy as I can.
I like
It
that.
really.
I like that. Happy. I like that. Sounds like you deserve happiness.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been through a lot.
Everyone does.
Everyone does, but
honestly, I never believed people who said like, "Oh, I saw the light," blah blah blah. I was like, I don't know. I didn't really believe it. Well, holy crap! Like now I do. It's just really cool. I feel like it brought my family more into Christ and stuff like that. Especially my dad. So all of us are religious, but it's just really cool.
I mean, an experience like that will make anyone put a little more into it, I think.
Yeah. I would say ever since, it's been frustrating like for many, many years. Since I was 12, I'm 19 now. Almost 20 actually. Ever since my heart stopped on the table, things got like really rough after that. So it's been really patchy road.
Really? Well, like I said earlier, positives. I'm going to focus on the positives here, okay, from what you told me. Okay, you're very brave, obviously, for all that you've been through. Sounds like you have a great family that will, support you. They'll be with you when you're in your need. I mean, it sounds like you know you have a purpose, obviously. Well, that's a big problem for a lot of people. A lot of people go through life not knowing, like why they're on Earth, and it sounds like you know that you're here for a reason. And I mean, God's obviously, sorry, God's obviously made it a little more clear to you than anyone else or than other people.
Yeah, that is really true.
So if I were you, Jenna, I would just try to keep focusing on the positives.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.